I want to unite the entire country. And I think there's
well,
two
you
theories.
can't.
Well, Bill, I'm hopeful that we can. I think this but I
I'll
share
give you that one, bro.
Yeah, but here's what I would say is like 20 years from now, I don't think we can. I think we're in a window where we have a shot at getting this done, on actually not celebrating our diversity, but actually finding a common thread that all of us still share as Americans. I think it exists.
Can I give you some campaign advice?
Yeah.
You're such a personable guy. You're so smart, and the energy is amazing. But unless you soften on Trump, at least half the country that knows that he's an obnoxious criminal, they're never going to accept you as the guy who can unite us. I can't accept you as that.
Take like a Chris Christie figure who's in this.
I'm somebody who is like,
it's in a different place. I'm not motivated by vengeance and grievance.
Do you know how much shit I get from the left? A lot.
I know you do.
Yes.
I know you do.
Because
that's why I'm here. And I respect you.
Thank you.
Because you can actually speak to, in some ways, your own tribe.
It's like my thing is, if you expect me to get on.
In a deeply engaging episode of Club Random, Vivek Ramaswamy and Bill Maher sit down for a rare and timely discussion about what it means to be American in today's divided political and cultural landscape. At the heart of their conversation is a simple yet powerful question. Can Americans still unite around shared national values in an era so often defined by division? Ramaswamy believes the answer is yes. He offers an optimistic perspective, arguing that values like free speech, merit-based achievement, self-governance, and personal responsibility remain the bedrock of the American identity. According to him, these timeless principles still resonate with people across political lines if only they can cut through the noise of partisan rhetoric and media sensationalism.
The path.
I am running as my own man in this race to lead us to something. And here's the thing, and this is not specific to Trump, but everyone in this race running is included in this when I say this. The Republican Party for a long time has been a party that has been running from something. Okay, here are all the evil things and we're running from them. I think I am the only person in this race who is actually trying to lead us to something. To an actual vision of what it means to be an American. You are a thoughtful man. Okay, I am here because you are not shackled by some party's orthodoxy.
Plainly.
Or and anything. And I'm glad that we've done it twice over the last few years, and you've read some of my books, and I've read a lot of your work, and there's so much that we could be delving into. This question of, is there a role for the village elder or not? Interesting. Is there a common thread that unites this country or not? I mean, I think that's the most important question of our time. There's room for debate on it. You could just say we're a bunch of two-legged higher mammals with different shades of melanin, walk in this geographic space and do what our iPhones tell us to do on a given day. Is that the country? Or is there some set of still remaining ideals that bind us together? That is the conversation that I think we need to have in this country. And yet I'm worried the same thing is going to happen next week on the Republican debate stage that's happening right here, is we are suffering a form of derangement about the recent past that at some point we are all going to have to say we lay down arms and ask ourselves, do we actually want to move forward or do we actually just want a national divorce?
Yes. And that
Ramaswamy paints a hopeful picture of national cohesion, suggesting that beneath the surface-level political disagreements, most Americans agree on more than they realize. He argues that the core ideas that shaped America's founding, such as liberty, equal opportunity, and the freedom to express oneself, continue to offer a path forward. He believes these ideals have not been lost, just obscured by today's headlines. However, Bill Maher approaches the topic from a more skeptical standpoint. While he doesn't reject the value of shared principles, he questions whether America's current climate of ideological entrenchment allows for such unity to realistically take hold. He highlights how political polarization, driven by years of culture wars, has created divides that may be too wide to close through optimism alone.
Now, I deeply disagree with Obama and many things, but I know you mean that in a good way, but let us move forward as one nation. And that's the challenge. We live in a more challenging time than we did even in 2008. And so let me just ask you, do you believe, Bill, that there is, that there exists? I have friends who would give me the answer to this question. The answer they would give is no. And that we need to get a national divorce and move on with it. I have friends both on the right and the left who say this, which is saddening to me.
This talk has to stop.
It is saddening to me.
Right. No,
deeply saddening.
We agree on that.
And so then what is that common thread that unites us? What is it? We think it exists, Let's talk about it. Meritocracy, the thing that my parents came here to pursue.
But that doesn't unite us anymore. Because
I think it unites most people, but if you're viewing this country through the prism of a TV screen or social media algorithm,
but the people
then
who
it
watch,
looks like we don't.
The people who watch MSNBC,
which aren't very many, which is a good thing.
okay,
actually.
but they vote and they.
But this is an important point.
Okay,
That's my whole point. Is it's a small sliver of the population that creates the image of an artificial division that I think is mostly artificial.
But
I really do.
But we have to admit this is what you're always railing against. Yeah. That is a powerful faction in this country. And
I'm kind of done railing against it.
And you can't.
I'm in a different phase than when we first met.
Okay.
Because we had to see the problem and we did.
Okay.
Now what are we?
One of the most striking points raised by Ramaswamy is his sharp critique of the media's role in fostering division. He argues that much of the polarization Americans experience is not organic, but rather amplified by media institutions that profit from conflict. He claims that media outlets often choose to focus on disagreements, controversies, and inflammatory narratives because these generate more clicks, views, and engagement. This, he says, distorts the public's perception, making the nation appear far more divided than it truly is. In contrast, voices of reason and shared purpose rarely get the spotlight. Maher agrees in part, acknowledging that sensationalism is indeed a problem, but he also believes that the media alone cannot be blamed. He suggests the public bears some responsibility as well, especially when people choose to engage with only the content that aligns with their views.
More realistic perspectives.
You're assuming, I'm making a point of this because I think it's important, you're assuming that this is going to unite us. Meritocracy. Yes, there was a time when everyone believed in meritocracy as the most important thing. But now, the other side, those people watching that network believe in something called equity. I'm sure it's in your book. Mm-hmm. And there are definitions of equity, which, of course, you would understand. Yes, absolutely, we should strive for that. And then there is a form of equity that rubs right up against meritocracy. I mean, this is colleges getting rid of
affirmative action.
Well, no, exams.
Oh, exams. Oh, you're saying the other direction. Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying it's not about merit. We don't care what your score is.
So I think you're smoking out a good point. Group outcome equality, group outcome equity, and meritocracy are fundamentally incompatible.
They are at odds.
Yes. I would say if you take both of them seriously to their natural limit, they're incompatible.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't have a mixture of two things, maybe not 50-50, but I mean, there needs to be redress.
The point I was going to make for you is, from my perspective, is most people share one vision of that in this country. Enough people share. I think it's 50-50. I think it's easily 80-20 in the direction of people who believe in actual free speech, believe in meritocracy, believe in self-governance, right? The idea that at least Congress should make the laws and not three-letter agencies in Washington, D.C. I think most people believe that that's a good thing. That's what our founding fathers believed. I think, we may disagree on what the laws that Congress should make, but we agree that Congress should be the one making them.
When you put it vaguely like that, a poll of people would say, yes, we agree with that.
Like an overwhelming majority.
But then when you got to the specifics of